Nice to meet you, Abraham. Um, my question is a little bit different. It's sort of a fun kind of thing for me to think about. But it's about what it's like to be in non-physical and, like, what do you do? I mean, as in the non-dimension, I mean, do you, like, fly all over the place? And, like, what do you do for fun? Like, I mean...
Well, the most exhilarating thing for those of us who are non-physically focused is to ride the constant wave of newness that those like you provide. In other words, you come forth into the contrast and you conclude the new desire. And we give our undivided attention, and that's a very key definition, our undivided attention to the new that you have just discovered. Now, just to give you a sense of what that feels like to us, Jerry and Esther talk frequently about, as they figurate around this nation, about the exhilaration of discovering a new environment that they were unaware of before, and the first time experiences. And sometimes when they've had particularly lovely experiences at a particular RV park or at a particular restaurant or in a particular city or driving down a particular highway, they take note of it and they often try to replicate it again in their life, only to discover that it's never ever the same the second time. It's like, if you remember in coming together in relationships, the newness of that first discovery, that first sexual encounter, that first touching of one another, or that first kissing, or that first meeting of the minds. There is something so exhilarating about that first discovery of things. Esther talks about that night before Christmas feeling, or that feeling of the first snow, or that feeling of the first rain, or that feeling of the first blade of grass coming up, or that feeling, in other words, it's that feeling of newness, that fresh new feeling of something. Well, that's where non-physical resides all the time, because those like you are out here banging it out in the contrast and concluding the new improved desire, and we spend no time in the banging process. We're just having the new, the new, the new, the new, the new. Talk about riding the wave of evolution, the wave of becoming, the wave of eternalness. That's what we do, you see. And we're calling you to be right on the heels of it. So the advantage that you, from your physical format, offer to this whole picture is that you explore the contrast in deeper detail, which causes your desire to be more poignantly spewed. And we spend no time evaluating the contrast. We just agree with what you've spewed because we know you've worked it out through your exposure to the experience, and we just continually ride that new wave of becoming. And there is no way of describing the exhilaration of that. A man sat in a chair like this not long ago, and he said, I have a question that my friends said I shouldn't ask, but I'm going to ask it anyway. And we said, good, because it's the question we have long been wanting to answer. And he said, why does the dog put its head out the window of the automobile? When it gets bugs in its eyes. And we said, because the ride is so worth it. So what we'd like to say to you is, you've got your head out the window, but we're not getting bugs in our eyes. In other words, you provide the exhilarating motion forward for this universe, and we ride that wave. Now, we are not implying that we are not part of it, because we are an inspiring part of it. We are a consensus part of it. We are a concluding part of it. We are a powerful energy part of it. We are an important part of it, but you also are an important part of it. So the thing that we want you to really derive from this answer that we're giving you is that the joy that we live is not as you imagine it, separate from the lives that you live. You are the leading edge of thought. And there is a sort of fantasy, the concoctions that man comes up with as he tries to make angels out of that which we are, and put us on clouds with our feet dangling over the edge, and call us perfect and contented and finished, while we wait patiently for all of you to come up here and sit on the same boring cloud with us. And we want you to understand that creation is active, creation is in motion, creation is life, you see. And that's fun. And whether you call it a game or whether you call it interesting, it is joyous. And so here we all are, living non-physically, living fuller expressions of life because of the likes of you, saying, it's good over here. You carved it out. You filled vibrational escrow full of this. Come this way, 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 come this way. Come join us. You will when you die, but we would like you to have the same joyful experience that we have before you croak. And that is what enthusiasm is. That's what passion is. That's what that feeling of life is. When you wake up and you feel so glad to be alive, and you breathe in that first conscious breath of air, and you open your windows whether it's raining or sunning, and you think, here I am. I'm so glad to be alive. That's us in there. That's us feeling the enthusiasm for the life in which you are focused, you see. It doesn't get any more fun than that.
Okay. Esther is you, in the physical. And when Esther dies, do you have somebody else that's in physical that's doing this leading creation?
All of you. We are not unique to Esther. We are source energy, we are infinite intelligence, and we are flowing. And when you get on our wavelength, we'll have a party.